We're learning more tonight about the billion-dollar effort to replace the aging Cape Fear Memorial Bridge.
Transportation leaders are now moving forward after rejecting a private company's bid to build a new bridge and toll drivers to use it. WECT's Connor Smith digging in for the new details tonight. Connor, you talked with people from the DOT today. What's the next step in this project now?
Yeah, DOT and WNPO leaders are still figuring out how to pay for the bridge. The funding gap for the $1.1 billion project is still $800 million, and leaders say a toll looks all but inevitable. A private company's plans for $1 billion toll bridge to replace the aging Cape Fear Memorial Bridge have been pushed to the curb. NCDOT Division Engineer Trevor Carroll announcing Wednesday they're rejecting that proposal from Delivering Bridges LLC.
Really, there's no material or substantial difference between the proposal we received and what is actually already planned and programmed.
Crossing the proposed bridge would have cost $2.75 in tolls. The project would have been privately funded. Carroll says the plans did not work for the state. Now NCDOT and WNPO are back to the drawing board.
Basically looking everywhere we can possibly find any funding option, and that's where we stand today.
WNPO board member Lynn Barbie says they're lobbying lawmakers for more funding, but realize a toll bridge looks more and more likely as unpopular as it is.
Number one priority is to get the bridge. My number two priority would be able to get it in a way that we don't have to toll. If those two are incompatible, obviously my number one priority is going to take the priority.
Carroll says they're moving forward with the tolling option and will need state legislation passed early next year, allowing tolling on existing routes.
We understand this is a high-profile and impactful project. We're trying to consider all these options. We're going through the process.
A process that's driving forward with funding and timeline questions still unanswered. And the next step in the project is a draft environmental assessment. NCDOT expects that to be released soon, and there will be public comment periods in August and September. We'll keep you updated as the project moves forward. Connor Smith, WECT News.